What's going on there, guys? It is the Earthmaster here on this beautiful Friday. What is it? Friday night? It is Friday night, right?
Yep.
11, 11, 11, 2022. I believe that's the date here. I think we're in the right time zone here
How's
on
it
the
going?
West Coast.
How's it going, guys?
Missy Mimi's out here along with yours truly, the Earthmaster, and we're just kind of out here hanging out, doing an update video tonight.
It,
And
it's 9:31 p.m. West Coast time, by the
West
way.
Coast time, and Missy Mimi's birthday was yesterday, and there was a huge amount of folks wishing you happy birthday.
I know, I saw that. I told everyone thank you very much. And again, out there, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. Woohoo!
So, what do we got?
Put me on the
Latest earthquake out there. What do we got?
that it is a 1.4 in the looks like northern or mid Alaska region, or is that south? Goodness.
Anchorage, Alaska area, right around the southern Alaska region. The latest quake there on the globe.
He's funny. He puts me on the spot, trying to get me.
Right. So
Keep me on
okay. All right. So what else we got?
Well, we have the 5.8 that came in in Guatemala, near just to the south of Guatemala City. It was pretty deep, 99.6 kilometers.
Yeah, where at? Into the Middle America Trench out here.
Oh goodness.
99 kilometers into the Middle America Trench. Somewhat of a deep earthquake. It came in, I think, originally as a 5.5 from the EMSC model, but
It was upgraded, yeah, by the USGS.
it was upgraded by the USGS there just a little bit to a 5.8. That we just said 5.8. Far as the Digi-Fill-Out reports, it looks like there is a little bit of felt reports out there throughout the region across the area of the Guatemala City area and whatnot. So kind of a little bit of a shaker. It is in a seismically hazardous active zone out there. So things kind of kicking up out there along the Middle America Trench. What else do we have out here?
Trying to see where we want to go next.
Where do you want to go? Up north along the West Coast?
Maybe we'll go along the West Coast because it looks. I'm not sure about this morning, but it does look like there is a little bit of uptick, possibly. That we had that 3.4 to the north earlier today.
Where's that in
the let's see, outside of Patrol. Whoa, was there two?
No, just one.
Just one. Okay. Yeah.
Well
so
off the coast.
well off
of Petrolia.
of Petrolia, just to the south of the subduction zone. Let's see.
Right along the Pacific Plate and the.
And the
it's going to be the Gorda Plate
the Gorda Ridges, the Gorda Plate. Yeah.
area. So yeah, things kind of kicking up just a little bit. We got one oddball earthquake up here near Ashland, Oregon. Actually, a ways away from Ashland into the mountain range here, about 7.2 kilometers deep there for that little oddball earthquake. And things across Northern California mostly quiet. A little bit of uptick around the Bay Area, and one earthquake here around the Calaveras Fault Zone, 1.4. A little bit of activity down here. What's this fault system here?
Well, that's where. Right there. That's the
recent earthquake.
That's at the southern, not the southern end, right? Like just near the bottom of the creeping section of the San Andreas Fault.
Yep. And
so
we got an intersection here.
There's actually a few fault systems there. The end of the Garlock Fault and then the Big Pine. I believe the Big Pine Fault towards the end.
Yeah, the western edge of the Garlock Fault and the Big Pine Fault. There's a couple. It's a pretty good intersection of fault systems out there. Kind of very sensitive area in terms of potentially seeing a somewhat of a larger earthquake out there in that region. One area we did see activity ramping up is the Ridgecrest area today. A pretty good uptick. That's about 17 earthquakes or so within this region. And we've seen a couple twos and even a 3.2 out there earlier today in the Ridgecrest area. So things kind of ramping up out there in the fracture zone of that area. What do we got down here in the south, Miss Mimi's?
Well, trying to see here. I didn't get a chance to watch this morning's update, so I'm not sure what's new and what's not new. So
Well, there's obviously not a whole lot happening out here around the southern end of the San Andreas Fault. We don't see anything in or around it.
Yeah.
Everything's really quiet. Nothing. No swarming, no activity whatsoever. The Brawley seismic zone and the Imperial Fault look very quiet. So the western sections here around the Pacific Plate, very quiet as well. There's not a whole lot.
yeah,
If you notice that, this is very below background levels here for any given day there along the Southern California area. Pretty quiet in activity in that region. So, all right, what do we got up here into the Washington area? What do you see?
well, we have looks like Mount Rainier got some quakes there, and a little bit of a looks like a
Right
little bit
there
of
at the
swarm.
summit.
Yeah, a little bit of swarm
A
going
little
on.
bit of swarming going on there at the summit. So, on top of that, let's go ahead and check out the Tremor. We're gonna dodge. Well, Tremor activity. What do we see in the Tremor?
Well, it's up there in the Vancouver Islands. 13 epicenters. That's very minute compared to what we just recently
Right?
had.
Very low. Very low levels
That's
there.
basically split Northern California and the Vancouver
Yeah,
Islands there.
To me, 13 epicenters is about as what'd you say? What's the word you use?
Minute.
Minute. I don't use that word too often here because it's not really in my vocabulary. I don't use that word too often.
There's definitely a lot more there than it's reporting, looks like.
Well, this is, if you think about it here, this gives the last 2 days, last 2
okay.
weeks of activity. And the activity we've seen on the USGS map is listed
about
in the red
equal.
circles.
Okay.
So those are 5, 6 earthquakes or so in that region. So you have to look at the time frame down here for the age.
Yeah.
And basically what USGS is stating is listed up here on the map. And the volcanic seismicity map here around Mount Rainier. Wait a minute. I meant to click on one of these. We're kind of missing some. Hold on a second here. Where is our stations out here? Kind of missing a couple around the region here. They're not, doesn't seem like they're
Popping up.
Yeah, it's kind of on the odd side here of seismograph stations. So Mount Rainier, we've been watching a little bit. We have been seeing a little bit of swarming of activity. And some of these movements here kick up every 12 hours, it looks like. Maybe every, it kind of looks like every, 18 hours or so. These almost look like, like generators or ski lifts operating there for a few minutes. And notice the same signature every 10 hours or so. We've been kind of seeing that kick up here. There's one there as well. So there's a 2.7 in Eureka, near Eureka. That can't be Northern California because this is way up north.
Yeah.
Into Washington. That would not show up like that unless you're talking about that little speck right here. But this is a very localized earthquake to the region there. And definitely a little bit of seismic activity. A lot more. Oops. Where'd it go here? How's this for a Friday night update? bloopers kicking up. Friday night blooper night. Here we go.
At least you know we are live, and
Well,
no, we
obviously-
don't pre-record and
Okay, what are we gonna say, Missy Mimi's? Okay, say this, say that.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, guys.
We're
this
not-
is what we're talking about here tonight. No, we're pretty much on the go. Pretty much on the just click the record button, and here's what we're this is what we're going to talk about.
Yep.
What's in our heads? What is the data? This is kind of how we go about it. So
Yep.
it's pretty much raw data, and that's kind of what I like to look at out here. So, but far as the Mount Rainier area, it almost seems like we're missing a couple stations out here.
I know. I could have swore there was some closer to it.
Yeah, I could have swore as well. So it's a little odd, to say the least. But I do want to look at this other station here and see what we got around Camp Muir area. It almost looks like there's still a ongoing swarm of earthquake activity at the Mount. Look at that.
Is that's
7? Beautiful. Yes.
That is absolutely.
Right?
Yeah,
Look at that
is.
Those are some beautiful vibrations going across the earth from the activity in.
It was in outside of Tonga.
Outside of Tonga, yes,
Yeah.
the 7-pointer, 7.3, right?
Yep, 7 point. Wow, that is absolutely amazing. Isn't it amazing how that travels across the plates from
a little bit
one
of vibration kicking in there. So, but as far as the USGS, they're definitely reporting a little bit of earthquake activity. No major significant movement at Mount Rainier, but definitely a little bit of an uptick. Yellowstone National Park. Let's go ahead and key on. Chime in on that. Look at that 7-pointer.
Signature. Wow.
That almost looks like it's a localized 3-pointer or a 4-pointer at Yellowstone, but it's not.
Nope.
That's kind of why you have to look at the subsequent activity following that signature, and we see these S waves traveling across the graph here, indicating a distant, large earthquake. If we were to see that type of signature here locally at Yellowstone, then I'd be kind of concerned. But we can kind of decipher local activity from distant activity from the P and S waves immediately following this main earthquake there in Tonga, just due to these wavy fashions here across the area of the localized landscape and seismographs. And it kind of pretty much showed up across the area, except for
Old Faithful.
Well, Old Faithful.
It's finely tuned.
This is not finely tuned. This
No,
is
it's
improperly
tuned.
Yeah, if this was finely tuned, we would obviously see some earthquake activity.
What I mean is, like, it's just blank.
Yeah.
Like, they've got it so toned down that they're not picking anything up.
Yeah, the amplitudes are way down. So
Yeah.
Amplitudes are way down.
I got some movement in Yellowstone is what we were looking at.
And far as localized activity goes, let me double check, refresh. There's nothing at all.
Yeah.
Zip zero. No seismic activity to report across the Yellowstone area as far as localized activity goes. So we're absolutely negative there in the reporting.
Are those two right there from earlier today? Or
on Yellowstone?
Yeah, on the USGS map.
Okay, let's see here. What do we got? So we got a 1.1 just after midnight.
Oh,
and then we got a 0.2
so those were way earlier.
At 11:21. So we can kind of find those out on the graph if you want to be specific. 1921. So 1921, if we were to pull up this, 1921 is going to be right here.
Right there.
So that's it. I don't even look at this when it comes to reporting earthquake activity. It's a very small microquake that's pretty much irrelevant in terms of the general activity goes out here. So very small activity in that region. And USGS, well, yeah, they're reporting it, but luckily they are.
Right.
Not a whole lot of activity to report in that region. So
New
Madrid zone. All this activity from yesterday. Oklahoma, about the same. There's a little bit of activity throughout the afternoon, but no major swarming. We would note that it would obviously be showing up there pretty drastically if there was some type of swarming in the area, but it's not. Southern California, we already checked that out.
Alaska looks like typical movement up there.
It's a little bit above
Is it?
activity in terms of movement throughout the Cook Inlet and
Yeah.
northward. 1.4 shows the latest activity through the area. But obviously no major swarming in that area, no major earthquake activity. Mauna Loa, about the same, and the Pahala area, there's nothing lighting up. If we were looking at some increasing activity, we would see it.
Yeah.
But the areas that I am kind of watching, following the Tonga activity this morning, is around the Philippine plate here. And we did see some activity kind of kick up over the last 24 hours, and immediately following the activity in Tonga, we've seen a 5.3 here along the Japan area, and we also seen a 4.6 in the Izu Trench, and the most recent activity here in the Taiwan area. All that activity following the movement down here with the westward plate movement here. It makes sense. It's pretty obvious. The Tonga earthquake here, northwestward pressure movement against this area that's already back building here from the Eurasia plate. It only makes sense, right?
Yeah.
If you really think about it. But also here around the Kermadec Trench and the New Zealand area, that's an area to watch considering all the deeper movement here in Fiji and also the Tonga area. That's an area to watch pretty closely. And they've seen a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and kill this real quick. There we go. Still kind of working that out somewhat.
It's kind of neat.
The draw on map, yep. Activity here around the Kermadec Trench. Still have to watch that pretty closely, folks. On the EMSC model and the GeoNet servers, we have seen a couple threes down here north of the North Island, New Zealand area. Pretty shallow earthquake movement here at the southern end of the Kermadec Trench. But there's a lot of activity that's kicked up here in the region regionally, I should say. And with very minimal adjustment down along the Kermadec Trench and New Zealand area. So just got to remember the movement that we see here around the Pacific Plate plays a major part, not only regionally here around New Zealand and Fiji, but also, I guess you could say globally, because this area, when you get a little bit of movement here around the southwestern portion of the Pacific Plate, this Pacific Plate as a whole makes an incredible movement here to the west and northwest area. So that includes pressure areas around the Japan area and Philippine Plate area. And that's kind of what we have to look forward to. We did see a little bit of activity around the Philippine Plate earlier today. And we see it up here. But also notably somewhat over here towards the west-northwest in the Indonesia area. Quite a few fours kicking up here. So just got to remember, when we see some deeper and also subsequent shallow earthquake activity, it puts a lot of strain here along these regions, and it's something we've got to watch pretty closely. South America region, not a whole lot kicking up. Looks like a 4.2 earlier this afternoon into the Peruchile Trench, 127 kilometers deep. Let's see what else we got. Kind of skipping around here pretty crazily, but Tremor tonight, as we mentioned, was pretty minimal. We looked at about 13 epicenters of tremor up north and also down south here. Yellowstone National Park showed very minimal activity. Solar weather activity right now kind of on the decline in terms of uptick. And we're looking at just a couple of sunspots that are they were previously kind of situated here across the area of the sun, directed at Earth, but now they're kind of scooting away towards the western edge of the sun. There's not a whole lot of complex fields here across the region. kind of seeing here. It doesn't look like anything's developed here across the area as far as the instability of the magnetic field compared to earlier today. And that kind of shows with the declining here over the last couple hours of the sunspot activity. Noticing the trend of activity here to the south, or at least on the graph here. Overall threat, 75% chance of a C flare. Minimal, 25% chance and a 10% chance for a next flare. They have elevated the proton event here due to the sunspots facing the Earth. 10% chance of a proton event, but that's about it. So that's about it, folks. I think pretty much call it an update here. We are looking at doing a drawing here this weekend, so make sure you guys are signed up for a member, or as a not a subscriber, but as a member. You got to hit that join button to be kicked into the drawing this weekend. We'll probably hold on Sunday. So make sure you guys kick up on that a little bit.
And we will add you even just as we're about to do the drawing itself. You know, if you join, we will throw you in the bowl. We're not going to leave you behind if you decide to join at the last second. So
yeah, just make sure you guys are up there, and we'll be giving away a $40 either Amazon gift card, MasterCard, Visa card, gas card, and also or potentially a geology mining kit or some Earthmaster merchandise here from the store. Just got to get in on that drawing by becoming a member of this channel. So make sure you guys hit that join button there. No, you don't have to do it every single month, but we do appreciate those members that join, and we kind of want to give a little, I don't know, a little incentive to those that do join this channel. Aside from the extra videos, extra perks, we like to give away some extra prizes. So those are entitled to the members here on this channel.
And if you are new to the channel, completely new, please like, share, subscribe. And we're happy to have you with us.
Alrighty, guys. Have a good night. Stay safe out there. We will chat you guys another time. So, peace out.
Peace out. Have a good night, guys.